Welcome to the Ingage podcast, the show for business owners who want straight talk on technology, data, and the systems and solutions that keep their companies moving. Each episode tackles a real problem, maps out practical solutions, and delivers proven tactics you can use to choose the right tools and run a profitable business.
Paul, thanks so much for joining me on this edition of the Ingaged podcast.
Man, I'm so honored to be here, Dean. Always an honor to sit down with you, and I love what you're doing. I just had to be a part of it.
Well, you know, it's amazing. Today is the big day for you, too.
It is. It's release of my book, Grit to Gold. That's been 45 years in the making, and what's interesting about this book, it tells my entire journey through technology, from the first website, 95 to the first YouTube testimonial, 2006, to remote virtual measurements, to bringing AI, and now working in robotics.
Man. So for those who don't, in our audience who don't know you, which is probably like one person, but let's educate them. Tell everybody what you do and who you work for.
So my name is Paul Burleson. I work for a company called Westlake Rural Building Products. We're one of the largest manufacturers of building products in the world. And my role is a very unique one. I am the consultant that works in all divisions of our company: roofing, stone, siding, windows, all the different products that we sell. And the important thing about what I do is I actually work with remodeling organizations and everything from bring technology. How do you build a tech stack? What do you need to kind of fit into your operations every day? And then training and coaching, consulting, presentation tools, and all the different things that are out there. It's my job as a consultant, because they buy products from Westlake, to provide my services for free.
Got it. And ultimately, your goal is to drive adoption of the products at Westlake, and there's tons of ways to do that.
Absolutely.
Got it. So you mentioned technology in this book from 1995 till now. Well, in the days of today, I think the only two letters that people talk about are AI.
Artificial intelligence.
Right?
Absolutely.
I know you've been at the forefront of AI in the industry. Tell me a little bit about what you see out in the market today in terms of adoption of AI in the home improvement industry.
So there's several category spaces that are very prominent right now. Speech analytics is one of the top assets. It's being involved in Salesforce. It's being involved in every aspect of a company's business, because they want to know what people are saying. It's not a big brother, but what if the guy who has a high cancellation rate can listen to the guy that has a zero cancellation rate and learn what he's doing and gametize it and improve performance? The next area where AI is really taking a large jump is from lead to proposal. Like they connect on social media, then they call you up on the phone, they set the appointment, they connect in the CRM, the salesperson has the lead set, and the next thing you know, you're making a presentation. So being able to streamline that process. And then the third piece is how AI is going to be integrated into drones, and how it's going to be used for measurements, and how it's going to really reshape the way products are going to be installed with AI technology, with robotics.
Got it. Amazing. So if you think about some of those initial use cases, the idea of speed to lead has always been something. Whenever I talk to people in the home improvement, home services, is how fast can I get from the phone call, the inbound email, whatever it is, to getting someone out to the home? Has AI helped people to actually shorten that time based on the things that you've seen in the market?
It has. And one of the biggest changes, in the old days, somebody would call and you would call back to set the appointment. But today, people are responding to texts. They're responding to a quick, like, hey, thanks for calling. These AI bots are actually interacting with people, and it is speed to the lead. But whoever's connecting with them first and kind of gets them on the hook, because in their mind, the consumer today just wants to make things go away.
Totally.
Just make it go away. And if I trust you, I'll buy everything from you. But it's about that trust, and that trust comes from that quick response. And today, some of the AI voice agents, you can't even really tell. I have an AI voice agent that I actually had somebody create in my own voice to see how close it was. Pretty close.
Pretty good. We just replaced our phone system with an AI assistant in order to answer our phones and properly route them. And we've seen actually faster resolution times in support tickets and also getting to our sales team. It happens faster than the humans did because they can get more context. They can listen to what's being said. Still early days, but I've seen some demos that are pretty darn compelling.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Now, one of the things about this industry that I've noticed is, and I think one of the reasons we've been successful is we replaced a lot of antiquated processes for people. And when you look at it so fast and it's changing so quickly, how ready are the companies that you're seeing embrace AI? How ready are they for the actual adoption of it by their teams?
Well, see, here's the thing. They all know they need to be ready, but it comes to the main question, how do I start, right? And when I sit down and I'm coaching, I say, instead of figuring out where you start, let's look at where your needs are. How is your lead generation? How is your follow-up? How is your conversion? What are the areas that you need improvement? Then once we find those areas, let's then look at a tool that can solve those problems. Then once we find tools to solve those problems, let's do some beta testing, do 30 days to see if it makes a difference. The key with AI is they got to start somewhere, right? They've got to start somewhere to build that tech stack. So many people, they look at it like a website. It's back in the day. I got a website now. I'm ready. It could be a Mercedes-Benz with no engine. It's not going to drive. But I got a website. Well, that doesn't work with AI. Just because you have AI doesn't mean you're going to be successful. Just because you had a website doesn't mean you're going to be successful. But it's learning a strategy of implementation. The companies that succeed, see, tech is different from sales, right? Tech people build technology, but they don't know how to sell it. They don't know how to follow through. So where I come in is to help them develop strategies on how to be more of a consultative partner to the client than just say, here's your tech stack, good luck.
So is it fair to say problem first, solution second?
Yes.
A lot of times I feel like I run into people and they're like, I have the solution, and then they're running around trying to find a problem that it solves. And that doesn't work. I mean, a lot of times we'll get customers and they'll sign with us and it's fantastic. And then I realize they're actually implementing a CRM, a CPQ, finance software, and us all at the same time. It doesn't work. There's just not enough bandwidth. Do you see the same thing out there in the market?
Right. And again, people are scared because look at the adoption process. When I told you 1995, I made my first website, there are still people today, believe it or not, who do not have a website. Believe it or not. But look at the adoption, chasing the chasm. If you look at the curve, look how quick the adoption has been made for AI. And here's what I tell people about AI. I use the analogy back in my day, a TV dinner. You may remember the TV dinner. Those who don't, the TV dinner was the greatest thing in the world. You take it, you put it in the stove, you had an hour and 10 minutes, actually an hour and 10 minutes, and then it came out and you pull the aluminum out, and it was the greatest thing, all this stuff. But then came the microwave, right? Microwave, you could take leftovers, you could store food, you could reheat it, you could put it in the refrigerator. But the microwave did start taking, we'll say, business away from the stove. But you know what? You didn't get rid of your stove. You still have your stove, right? So you got to be on the leading edge of technology and not the bleeding edge of technology and figure out how can I embrace it? What are my needs? Where are areas that I can utilize it? AI has been utilized with so many companies. Even Amazon is now starting to use the glasses to record the deliveries and the drop-offs and the communication and these different things. So the remote virtual measuring tools now will pull data. When you're taking a picture of a house, it'll pull data and tell you, this age demographic here. These are the people that live, over there, the colors they may want. And now it'll start writing a formula for you based on the data.
Let's go back to the use cases you mentioned, speech analytics. We see that a lot with our customers. They're actually tying speech analytics to presentation analytics so they could see what they were showing when they were saying what they're saying. Super powerful. Have you seen any resistance in the field from sales reps knowing that they're being recorded and being watched? Or what's your perspective on that? I have a really strong opinion, but I want to hear yours first.
Well, so mine's very strong also. Change or die. So the bottom line is, if you're a true salesperson and you're truly committed to being part of your company and you're truly committed to growth and evolution, you want to learn every day to become better. You want to know what you're doing wrong. You want to be able to evolve. I want to know what this guy's doing that makes him great so I have a chance to be at his level. Those who do not want to be listened to, and I've listened to thousands of these conversations. Those who don't want to be listened to, there's a reason they don't want to be listened to, because they're not following the process. They're not following the system. They're looking for excuses. They're more focused on their narrative than they are exposing and closing for the needs of the customer. So I just had this conversation with someone the other day. If someone doesn't buy in, you hire fast, you fire faster.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yeah, no, we're equally aligned on that. It's amazing though, the number of people who will try and adopt our technology, and the first thing they do is say, "But I don't want to disrupt what they're doing." Like, okay, then we're not a solution to a problem you have, right? You go back to our earlier conversation. Technology is there to solve a solution to a problem. It's there to give medicine to the pain, and if it's not solving a problem, I would prefer you not adopt our technology. I think it's really, really important. So are there any AI-related challenges that you see as people are looking at sales and marketing and looking at problems to solve? Do you see any challenges that people are facing that in your work every day?
So the biggest challenge, I think, for me is it's minimizing your creativity, your ability to think, your ability to focus. Like, I'll give you an example. I hate emails, but for my company, I've adopted Copilot. Now I'm writing the most masterful emails that I've ever written. And now every time I write one, I hit the Copilot rewrite. So I'm not, instead of where I would went to spend time, maybe take a class to write better emails, now I can depend on that technology. I think we have to use it in ways that enhances us and makes us better and doesn't make us lazy. Because there is so, with Chat GPT, all these stories, you're taking tests for people and you can take a picture now, it'll give you the answers and all these different things. And all these tools are great. But the key is, does this tool make you better or does it stifle your ability to be great?
Yeah, is it any different than earlier in our lives when kids were cheating on tests in school? Those same kids, well, some of them are probably running really big businesses now because they were able to leverage their resources in order to be more effective at their job. I believe that 80% of the work that my team does today can and should be replaced by AI, so that the 20% that they're going to be, where the human really needs to be involved, will be that much better. Right? I have a philosophy that human plus tool is greater than human, but tool is not greater than human. Meaning, I can't just let AI do the work. There has to be a human in the middle for that last mile, that last check to make sure it's actually solving the problem that we've identified. It's not hallucinating. It's not being, it's actually giving us the results that we desire. And I'm not just being dumb to it.
Absolutely.
Right? We have to work hand in hand with our tools, right? Which, is that any different than someone putting on a roof? Is someone putting on siding, someone putting in new windows? You have to have the people and you have to have the tools, and everything works well together.
Absolutely.
So Paul, one final question for you. What is the tech tool you're using today? Maybe you just gave me the answer in Copilot, that you absolutely love as your go-to tech of the day.
I'm using Copilot and Deep Research because it can help me learn a lot about my customers and clients, their involvement, because it digs in really, really deep. And Copilot and how we're integrating it in for our sales team. But then I'm already starting to work with Einstein and Salesforce, and what that's going to be able one day to create to where it could actually coach the person in the field. It can go over all the data. It can use the maps and tell you where to stop to eat, where to get gas, how to be more efficient in your route. It'll summarize all your meetings. It'll talk about growth. I call it a manager in the box. So I'm excited. I work weekly with Salesforce and the Copilot teams in our data science. We actually have a data science division at Westlake because we're involving not only that technology, but where I'm really digging in is in robotics and what AI is going to be doing for drones and measurement and for humanoids, and how it's just going to keep evolving to a point I don't think we're ready for. But when we're ready for it, it'll be too late because it'll already be here.
Yeah. Now, do you think, just to dig in on that robotics, I know I said last question, but I can't get away without saying it. When you look at the robotics side of AI and where that's going, how disruptive Where do you see the timeline and the disruption in that? I mean, I feel like we're still early days, but I'd love to give you a chance to give your opinion.
See, I think it's the technology. It's just like computers, right? You've been background computers. A lot of times the technology was there years before they rolled it out. I think our technology in humanoids, see the race right now that people don't realize, it's a race to the finish between AI and robotics. Because humanoids are taking so much time in development. And it's by next year, go ahead and write this down. By December, you will be able to buy a humanoid, full-size humanoid, for between $5,000 to $7,000. Some people say $3,500. That could help you walk your dog. That can help you fold your clothes, help you clean your house. That's just the first evolution. But this is going to be continue to grow so fast that I don't think people are ready for it. But here's the thing. It's coming. And the quicker you embrace it instead of trying to fight it, the more successful you're going to be. Because I am telling you, from what I've personally seen with what's going to happen in the roofing industry, within 2 years, you'll have over 500 roofing robots in the industry. I would say in 5 years to 7 years, you'll have 5,000. And that's just phase one. Then you're going to have siding robots. There are already companies like Lightspeed, and I'll leave you with this, can build an entire home in one day, 2,100 square feet, all with robots today.
Wow.
Today.
The matter of scaling that and pretty important.
Right.
Paul, I love your perspective. It's exactly why I wanted to have you on the podcast. Thank you so much for joining.
It's an honor, and thank you what you continue to do for the industry, and I'll be preaching AI till I die.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
Such an honor.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to the Ingage podcast. If today's conversation helped you level up your business, follow and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. Know someone who'd benefit? Pass it along. While you're at it, drop us a review and visit Ingage.io to learn how to create, share, and measure your way to success. Until next time.